Junior Moves Test. This is the straight line step sequence. Focuses of this move are edge quality and continuous flow. Standards and expectations. Accomplished execution of all turns, control of upper body throughout, toe steps and transitions, maintain consistent axis, mature maintenance of speed throughout rhythmic movement, strong use of knee and ankle, demonstration of an accomplished and undisturbed upper body. This new move begins from a standing start and has no introductory steps. All rockers and counters should be turned on the axis. All twizzles are skated parallel to the axis. Toe steps, double three turns, and loops are also turned parallel to the axis and are placed on the tops of the lobes. Make sure the edge doesn't change right before all the rockers and counters. Hold the edge and extension after loop back to the axis at the end of the move. Common errors. Counters and rockers skated as three turns. Unclear twizzles. They look like double threes. Inability to maintain rhythmic knee action. Loss of flow. Scrape turns. Inability to maintain axis. And incorrect turn placement. This move starts from a standstill and has no introductory steps, and should be skated with performance quality. This move begins with two open strokes that can be placed anywhere as long as the third step of the move is placed on the axis. The skater will then push into a forward outside rocker, which should be turned on the axis. Then, the skater crosses in front to a backward inside rocker, which enters immediately into a forward inside counter. Both of which also turn on the axis. The leg placement can be in front or behind after the counter. Next is a backward outside double twizzle that should be skated away from the axis to make room for the next steps. Then stepping forward parallel to the axis into a chassé swing forward outside counter. This counter is the middle marker of the pattern and should be turned on the axis. Next is a back inside cross in front. Then skating down ice, doing three toe steps and another cross in front to a backward inside edge. The skater will next step forward onto an inside edge across the axis. Then pushes into a forward inside 1.5 twizzle coming out on a backward outside edge. Next, the skater will do a power pull change of edge onto a backward inside edge across the axis, skating into a backward inside double three. Then, strokes across the axis into a back inside rocker, then immediately into a forward inside rocker. Both rockers are turned on the axis. Next, the skater strokes across the axis and does a backward inside loop on the top of the lobe, and then brings it back to the axis to finish. The sequence is then repeated, starting from a standstill on the other foot. The connecting steps on the end pattern are optional. Make sure to check the first twizzle so that the chasse can be skated down ice, so as to create room to be able to fully do an outside edge into the counter. That counter should be placed in the middle of the rink. Place a second twizzle at the top of its lobe and not in the beginning. Again, the end pattern is optional. The skater must start the second side from a standstill and do the 2 open strokes to start the second side. Make sure twizzles are rotated quick enough and don't become double 3 turns. Try putting all the steps on this pattern to 4 counts of 8.